Hey y'all, Pastor D here. Uh, Welcome to the MDZ show. Try to see what we can come up with today. There's a lot of stuff I could cover right now, but I don't think I got enough time. This politics stuff is just gone through the roof. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of sad things going on in today's day, and but let's try to stay on a positive. Let's really try to stay on a positive. For those of you that reached out and made comment about the last podcast and hearing my dog getting sick, she's doing good. We did have to take her to the emergency room. She had an intestinal blockage that they had to do some stuff, and it's kind of crazy how people love animals. The fur babies are dogs, cats, gerbils, hamsters, whatever you have, birds, whatnot. But they're almost as expensive as human. It just this was another visit for her. Was about they wanted $1,600, but they were able to get away with a couple about $300, and so that worked. But the last time she had bad teeth, we had to have her teeth removed, or 13 of them, and that was over $2,500. Pretty crazy. But by the grace of God, she is doing well and healthy. Anyway, so Veterans Day is coming up, and we all know with politics, the government's, shut down at the moment, and I talked a little bit about that on my last podcast. And there's certain individuals, certain different groups that work for the government that are still getting a check, but then there's some that aren't. The acting president at this moment in time is doing everything he has power to do to try to make things change. It's still an uphill battle. Hopefully, by the grace of God, everything will calm down. Everybody will start getting their EBT food stamp stuff that's needed. The military, because you have to think about this. You have, and there's my family as well, men and women that are still going to work because they're in the military every day, or they're out in the front lines, keeping you safe, and they're not getting a paycheck, but you might be. So this next Tuesday is Veterans Day, and so just think about that when you're out there barbecuing and you're having a good time and everything. Please just remember, this could be one of your family members. It could be somebody you know. It could be somebody you don't know. It doesn't matter. They're men and women who are willing to go out there to fight and lay their lives down on the line, with or without a paycheck, to protect you, to protect me, to protect us. And so, my personal opinion is we owe that to them. You ever see them in a coffee shop or walking the streets or something like that? Just say thank you. You don't have to get into a detail. They don't need to know who you are, but it means the world to them to be appreciated. I mean, as it does to you. You want people to respect you. You want people to appreciate you and the things that you do in your life. They're human too. They deserve the same thing. And that's the downfall of the misunderstanding of today, where people are thinking the government owes me. military. Oh, they're out there. I don't care. I don't know them. That's wrong. That's selfishness and at its finest, and it's the wrong thing to be. Again, if we want a peaceful world, we want basically the storyline of love, unity, and treasures of respect. To be able to live free and have our choice of what we want to do in our own lives. There's only one way to do it. There's only one way to do it, and it starts with you. You from within, how you treat people, how you do and say to others, that's where it starts. If you're mean and ugly to somebody, not only did you probably hurt their feelings, but or make them mad, and then it becomes a big blown out issue. But how you presented yourself with a bad attitude and anger, it rubs off, and it goes in the wrong way, and it creates a whirlwind of trouble. Peace and tranquility is what most people are looking for. Not necessarily fame, but fortune, to be able to take care of their family and all that stuff. And that's all great. That's all great goals. But if you have a bad attitude and you are ugly and mean to people, especially ones that you don't know, and you think that, oh, well, they should bow down to me. I should get this. I should get that. No, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. And that's not how this world will ever, ever become 100% unity. If we don't start changing some things and treat people with a little bit of dignity and respect and kindness. Right here, show the love. That right there means the world. You can have somebody in the grocery store and maybe he or she's having a bad day. And you come along and you can make it worse. I've seen situations in my years where a person's words hurt that person so deeply that person felt, because of what they were dealing on other aspects of their day, that was a straw that broke the camel's back. That person could be you saying this to another person, another human being. You just hurt them so bad. You were the last person to be disrespectful and ugly to them, and you didn't even know them. And they went home and thought about it. And it wasn't just you that created this, but your actions finished it, because everything that boiled up to that moment put them over the edge, and they ended up taking their life. Now, no, it doesn't go and blame all on you. Okay, I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to say that it's the steps leading up to that moment. And that one thing that you could have done to make a difference in somebody's life was to turn around and say, hey, how you doing today? Thank you. Have a great day. Have a beautiful day. God bless you. I've met several people, males, females, that things happened. They didn't feel very confident of themselves. And for me to be kind and to be nice and to treat them like an individual made a world of difference. And it really touches the heart on my perspective when I see somebody that might not be having a good day, or somebody that's feeling bad about themselves, and I turn around and tip my hat or say, hey, it was a pleasure. Thank you for helping me. I really appreciate you, and you have a blessed day. And that makes a big difference in their world. It really does. Something to try, really to think about. But again, Veterans Day, I want everybody to please, be careful when you're out there barbecuing and out on the roads. Some of you may not have to work, some may have to work. Those of you that are having a barbecue or out on the roads, you know, if you're drinking, get an Uber. Be responsible. You know, granted, I told you I used to ride motorcycles, and I can't do that anymore because of the nerve damage in my neck and in my hands. But I still have family and friends that out there riding every day. And I just hate to see somebody get hurt for no reason. No reason, because all you had to do was make the right choice. You know, tell somebody, hey, I've been drinking, I shouldn't drive. Get an Uber. You know, and sometimes they do these free things where the tow trucks, they'll come pick up your vehicle and no questions asked. You know, stuff like that. Those are good services, and that's also another thing is when you are drinking. Some people get a big old attitude and whatnot, but understand that, you know, this tow driver's trying to help you, or this person in the cab, and they're trying to help you. You know, they just want to make you, you know, get home safe, not hurt anybody. There's no reason for it, none whatsoever. I apologize. I've got so much going on in my world that I'm trying to separate the two, and my problems are not your problems, and I'm not trying to dump them on anybody, but it helps when you pray. When you get a bunch of people, if you know somebody's in trouble, somebody's having a hard day, somebody's having some kind of issues in their life, it means a lot to say a prayer for somebody, and to show that you care. Show that you care. Anyway, like I said, my family, we're all, even myself, I had joined the Army back during Desert Storm and Desert Shield. I had a situation occur the first time, and unfortunately, I yielded out. I ended up, I don't know, I guess I just wasn't ready. I was young and dumb. I wasn't ready. And then the second time, I went in and I got everything set, chose my MOS, whole 9 yards, and unfortunately at that time, I ended up in a divorce, and it just wasn't gonna work. Do I regret it? Yeah, I regret it every day. But it is what it is. I still would do and fight and die for my country if it was brought to me that they needed me. Yeah, I would. I'd die for the freedom, not only for my freedom, my family's freedom, but even your freedom. You know, that's the thing that people don't understand is like I said once before on one of my podcasts is, you know, God sent down His one and only begotten Son to die for our sins, and I hope that a lot of you took that to heart. What I was saying, to think about it. Would you be able to do that with one of your kids, boy or girl? Doesn't matter. For complete strangers. And that's the same thing with the veterans. We've got veterans out there that are homeless, that came back from fighting for our freedom and have didn't get a welcome home the way they wanted, or it messed them up so bad seeing that kind of evil where they came from or where they were fighting at or stationed at, that it put them into a hardship here in society. And so they tend to fall into a depression and stay off to the sidelines, and they're homeless. Um, so, if you ever see something like that, try to help out the best you can. Um, I understand, each one of them, they probably, some have PTSD. They have triggering points. They may hear fireworks, and you're trying to have a great time, celebrate with your friends or whatever, and to them that's, but there's people out there. There's places to go that can help that kind of situation. But anyway, the biggest thing is just be respectful. Treat them with the love and the dignity that you appreciate the fact that all of what they're dealing with now, all the demons that they're dealing with now, wasn't like that until they went and signed up, swore in, and they got shipped out overseas to a foreign country to fight for our freedom. Then they come back after seeing their friends, their teammates. Some of them didn't make it home, but they came back. And some people didn't like that. It's okay for them to go out there and fight and die for your freedom, but then they turn around, these individuals kind of spit on their shoes and calling them all these names, and that's just wrong altogether. You should be proud of your American flag. You should be proud of the fact that if you are in this country and you are free and can pretty much do what you want, pretty much. Every place has rules, okay? Every place has rules. You have to have some rules, you have to have some laws to keep things in particular, the right direction. It's one of those things where, I don't know, I guess it really bothers me sometimes where people are tearing up the flag, or they're spitting on our flag, or they're stepping on it. They say bad words, to America and all that, but yet they want all of this stuff that the American people work their tails off, pay taxes, and it provides for these people that don't care about America. And I'm all understanding as far as in human, we're all human beings. There's everybody's got certain rights. But if you have somebody that's turning around, and let's say you bought a new car and you love this car, okay? And somebody turns around and sees that car and they're maybe jealous or they can't afford it or whatever, and they take a baseball bat and they beat the crap out of your car, completely destroy your car. First thought in your head is you're going to go be angry and you're going to want to do some harm to that person. But if you step back and think, why would you do that? I don't know you. Why would you destroy my car? And they say, because I don't like it. I don't like you. Okay, well, you came to America for freedom, to be able to start a life of profit, and you left a bad situation and you came here, but yet you're going to be disgraceful to the people that are here that are providing your freedom and providing you with clothes, housing, a job, a business, whatever, medical. And then the flag in which is giving you that freedom, you're gonna desecrate it. It just makes no sense. None whatsoever. If you come into this country, or even if you're here already, if you were born in this country and you hate this country that bad and you think it's a better life in another world, then what's stopping you? I'm not saying anything in an ugly sense whatsoever to anybody, okay? All I'm saying is, if you don't like this country, you don't like the American flag, you don't like the people here, you don't like the president, you don't like our military, our police department, there's nobody stopping you. I wish you the best. I pray that if, another country is where you want to be, if you're going to act like that and stomp on their flag and spit in their face and be disgruntled to the law, I wish you the best. And I will pray for you. But here, America is set on boundaries and stipulations of peace. We want everybody to be happy. We want everybody to live free and to earn their way. It's like you having a relative come and live with you. They're in your house and all that stuff, and you're working 9 to 5, let's say 8, 10, 12, sometimes 16 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. You're working, you're paying bills. And that individual that you allowed into your home, okay, is freeloading, eating all your food, your favorite snacks. You come home and you're like, oh, hey, I want some ice cream. You go in the freezer and it's gone. They ate it. They don't have a job. They don't have a desire to get a job, nor are they even looking for anything. But yet they're going to sit there and eat all of your food, run up your electrical bill, your cable bill, and then turn around when you ask hey, that was my ice cream. Yeah, so what? I don't care. Don't you think you'd want them out of your house? I think you would. So you got to look at it. America is your house. It's your freedom. It's your temple. And right now, you've got visitors that are not respecting you. They're not respecting your stuff. They're not respecting your children, your animals. The sanctity of peace and tranquility, they're stepping on. So, wouldn't you want them to leave? Wouldn't you want them to go, say, hey, God bless you, be it a family member, whatever, doesn't matter. Love, but hey, it's time for you to go. Time for you to go somewhere else, because hopefully you'll go to a different country. Hopefully you'll see it's not that bad here. If I'm opening up my door to my house to allow you to dwell with me, to get a job, do your part, and you don't want to do that, then the road goes this way. I got to go one way, you got to go another way. And that's the same thing with America. I don't know. I'm hoping I'm not pissing anybody off. If I am, hey, I'm sorry. But the truth hurts. So, let's kind of, I got some stuff that I have to take care of. And so I'm going to kind of make this a little quick. So let's do some questions. I'm hoping you all like these questions. All right, so which woman was turned into a pillar of salt? Was it A, Rebecca, B, Sarah, or C, Lot's wife? Answer C, Lot's wife. How long did Jesus spend in the desert? How long would you stay in the desert? Uh, Answers are A, 40, B, 50, or C, 60 days. Hope y'all are checking out your Bibles just to make sure. I could be fibbing you. You never know. Anyway, the answer is A, 40 days. All right. So, 3. What was the first book of the Bible? Was it A, Exodus, B, Genesis, or C, Leviticus? The answer is B, Genesis. Awesome, awesome. Cool beans. All right, so I'm going to read off a couple little things here. We'll see if any of this makes sense to anybody, or if it helps you out, because everybody's got issues, everybody's got problems, everybody's got stuff that they need to address in their life, and things to change. And there's certain things that the Lord did, passed on to Jesus, and Jesus had to take care of. Like Luke 19:45 to 46. Then Jesus entered the temple and began to drive out the people selling animals for sacrifices. Jesus said to them, "The scriptures declare, my temple will be a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of thieves." Pretty wild. I don't know, has anybody ever seen, I know there was the Chosen. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that show. I can't remember the gentleman's name, the actor, but man, he did a great job. Really, really great job playing the role of Jesus. And there's a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, there's a cartoon now based off of it. And those are the kind of things where, like myself, I've always had a hard time understanding certain things through my years when I got into reading the Bible and whatnot. And there was easier ways to break it down for you, each of us, to understand. And once you understand a lot of it, like Charlie Kirk had a great understanding of the Bible, and he was trying to express that to a lot of people. Some understood it, some didn't, when they say their stuff. But this is why I say, hey, take a chance. If you have a hard time reading, just like myself, then, they have the audio ones. Those are really great too. Really, really great. So the Apostle Paul wrote, "Examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourself." Just like I was saying. "Surely you know that Jesus Christ is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith." 2 Corinthians 13:5 NLT. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said, I apologize that this particular podcast is kind of off, I guess. But it's same as any of the other ones. I kind of jump around a little bit. I throw little messages here and there. I am basically trying to push a message there of unity and trying to appreciation. Tell your fellow soldiers or military that you see, doesn't matter if they're active or retired, just say, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you've gone through in your life to keep us free. Peace out. Y'all have yourselves a great week, and I will catch you on the flip side.